Hey, it is Cammie C here, your impact coach with day 25 of our 30-day Do It Again journey. Day 25 is special because for one, Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you and to yours. Also, it is special because I am so glad to be talking about this day on such an important day. The day where we celebrate the birth of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. The one that held so much value to all of our lives, to our existence. And what he continued to do in his life added so much value to what we can do in our life right now. So because he held so much value and we celebrate his birth on today, day 25, we're going to be talking about know your value again. Know your value again. When Jesus was brought forth into this earth, he had value. Value that he was supposed to make sure that was exemplified, that was magnified, and that was held at such high regard by every single person he encountered. That's how good and that's how strong, that's how bright, and that's how dynamic and purposeful his value was. The same exact value that he held and that he even holds today is the same value that you can have in knowing who you are, knowing what you were created for, knowing what you are purposed to do on this earth, and knowing that you have to fulfill it no matter what. He came here on this earth to fulfill his purpose and his promise unto us. And he did it no matter what. So I want you to know that you have some value today and that you have to make sure that you hold that value and that you have to make sure you uphold the value and you don't devalue yourself to a level in which you were not created for. You were created with all purpose, all power, all intentionality to fulfill the destiny and purpose on this earth. That's who you are. You were created to be here in this very moment, and you were created to hold so much value. So we're going to talk about that value today. And I want to be the first one to tell you, if you never heard it in your lifetime, or if this is the first time you heard it today, you are valuable. You are valuable. As y'all know, I like definitions. So let's check out this definition of value. Value is the regard that something is held to deserve, the importance or worth. The value is something that regard that something is held to deserve, the importance or worth. What are you held to deserve? What is your value? What is the weight that you carry, right? What is it that you bring that sets you so much apart from anybody else, right? What is the weight that Jesus brought to this earth? As you sit around and as you are enjoying this moment with your family, I want you to know that you are valuable. As you are enjoying this moment, even where you are, even if you're by yourself, I want you to know that you are valuable. Guess what? You encompass an abundance of value that oftentimes cannot be communicated in words. You ever hear somebody trying to describe something, they get all messed up? That's how it is sometimes with you, because we can't find the word sometimes to describe who you are and the amount of value that you have and that you encompass and that you bring to this thing we call earth. Every place you walk in, you carry that glow, that value, right? You are the light that illuminates every darkness, because guess what? You have the same value in you that Christ had. You are valuable. You are set apart, right? You're held to a high regards. You're of importance and you are of worth. Sometimes because of the value you embody, people cannot behold all that you are and make sense of who God created you to be. Because you have that much value, sometimes people can't hold all of it. So sometimes they talk about you. Sometimes they try to devalue. Sometimes they try to play you, soft, or you're not all of that, or she's not really qualified, or he's not really qualified for this, because they can't really see and behold all the value that you have to offer. Because sometimes your value, guess what, makes other people shake about their value. Your value sometimes make other people question who they are, because you hold so much of a high demeanor. When you walk into the room, you know who you are. Sometimes that frightens people, and it's okay, but you don't stop. Because you know what you got. You know whose you are, and you know that you have such a high regard of worth, that you know what you can do and that you can change the trajectory of somebody's life, somebody's business, somebody's company, somebody's day. That's how much power that you have. And that's the value that you hold. Devaluing you can be displayed. Let me go ahead and be honest. Sometimes people devalue us and we don't know what it looks like. Devaluing you can be displayed in the form of down talking you, harassing you, bullying you, or even slandering your name. People always got something to say about you. Your name hot on these streets, right? Because they try to devalue what they know you value. They know the price that you're valued at, so they try to knock it off. That's something you ain't got to worry about. We are not Walmart brands. We not rollback. Nobody's going to knock down our prices. Nobody's going to drop our prices because, listen, you are unmatched. And I want you to know that, right? The overwhelming thing in regards to someone's attempt at devaluing you is that no matter how hard they try, they can never take your value away from you. Why? Because no one can take from you what they have never been given authority to provide to you. Can't nobody take from you what they were never given authority to give you. Nobody gave you value. Your value was given by God. When he said, listen, I need you here on this earth. When he created you in your mother's womb and he said, you're going to be special. You're going to be set apart. When he said, listen, I know the plans I got for you up here. So guess what? Nobody can take anything or alter plans that was never set for them to map out. They can't change or take value that they have never been given authority to give to you. Let's understand that. All right. One of the analogies I always like to give is I like to look at two different cars. You look at a Rolls Royce, you look at a Camry. Right? You look at all the technology. You look at all of the specifications, the customizations that a Rolls Royce has. Right? You look at most times nobody's driving their own Rolls Royce. They have a chauffeur. Right? But it's so valuable. Look at all of the beauty of that car. Look at the value, the price tag of that car. Now let's look at it according to the Camry. You see Camrys everywhere. You don't see Rolls Royces everywhere. You see Camrys everywhere. The driver, the owner of the Camry is driving itself. Right? It might have some heated seats. It might have a sunroof. It might have a screen, but it don't touch that Rolls Royce. It don't touch that chauffeuring ability. But you know what? The Rolls Royce knows how much value it has. It understands its value. That have you ever, I know I haven't, but have you ever seen a Rolls Royce commercial on television? Have you ever seen a Rolls Royce marketing advertisement? Ask yourself that. Have you ever seen that? You probably haven't. You know why? Because it understands its value. It doesn't have to market it. It knows what it encompasses. It knows what it provides to people. And it does not have to market itself. When you see Camrys, you see Camry commercials all the time during football season, right? During Christmas season with the cars and they had the little keys out there in the snow. You got all these different advertisements, but a Rolls Royce said, listen, baby, I know who I am. I don't have to market. People know what I'm worth. And I stand at my value and I ain't got to offer no price drop. I ain't got to say no rebate because guess what? I know who I am. I know what I offer. And I know that you got to be able to afford me. Hands down. You can afford me hands down, right? Consider this as such a substantial value. Consider yourself that you have such a substantial value that you don't have to be advertised. You don't have to be belittled. You don't have to be degraded. You don't have to be talked about. You don't have to be, put out there in the open or compared to societal norms. You don't have to be compared against people in social media because guess what? You have so much value. And what you have to offer, you are beautiful just the way you are. What you have to offer, people need it. And they're going to come to you to get what you have to offer because they know the value. Your price tag, raise it up. Because guess what? People need what you have to offer. They'll pay for the counterfeits. They'll pay whatever they got to pay for. But they're going to pay for your price tag. Because guess what? You're valuable. Your value is not meant to be advertised. It is meant to be respected, acknowledged, and honored. Who said that you had to settle for the job you really didn't want? Who said that you had to stop applying for a higher position because you didn't get it the first time? Who said you couldn't purchase a home but had to rent for the rest of your life? Who said these things? Who said that you had to settle for those things in life? These questions are honest reflections of how we value ourselves sometimes. We frequently find ourselves settling because we have a value blur and we need some readjustment. We got to readjust our value. I'm not a rollback chick. You're not a rollback guy. Your value and your price tag is set. And if people want you, they'll rise up to the standard to get you. If people want you, they'll pay the price to have you. You are valuable. Don't allow people to degrade your value because they are deficient in theirs. You are not meant to settle in this thing we call life. Sometimes they have a deficiency in theirs and they try to bring you down because they're not confident in who they are, because they're not confident in what they have to offer. Baby, you don't have to drop your prices for nobody. You are valuable. You hold such great high regards and importance and worth. You were already predestined to walk through doors open just for you. That's one of my prayers every day. God, I thank you for the doors that you are opening just for me to walk through. I thank you that my name is being mentioned in rooms that I haven't even walked in yet. You are predestined to be great and encompass immeasurable value that doesn't have a shelf life. Shelf life, we look at, perishable items. We look at canned goods. They have a shelf life. After this expiration date, don't eat them no more. Your stomach gonna be messed up. Don't touch that no more. But you don't have a shelf life. You don't expire, right? Until you die. But your value don't expire. You can still leave a legacy even when you pass, right? Our value comes from our belief of who we are inwardly. Ask yourself, who am I? What do you believe about yourself? How do you see yourself? You got to do a self-check sometimes. What do you believe? Do you believe you're unstoppable? Do you believe you are wondrously and fearfully made? Do you believe that there's no one like you and that you're set apart? What do you believe? Walk in the authority that you believe. If you don't believe those things and you don't see yourself as valuable, we got to revisit our belief system. We got to revisit how we understand and how we see ourselves, because you were set apart the moment you came in this earth. You had value the moment you came in this earth. Let me take that back. You had value the moment you were formed in your mother's womb. You had value. You were purpose. You were destined, and you were meant to be here. What do I believe about myself? Ask yourself that question. What do I believe about myself? If it goes anything contrary to what you were created for and contrary to God's words and promises to you, cross that off the list, because you are valuable. And even where you are right now, it may not seem the best position, or you may not be in the best space right now. It's okay. You're still valuable. And even in that area, you will prosper. Even where you are, you will prosper. Even where you're going to be in the next couple of months, you will prosper, because you are valuable. You were not created to live under societal norms. Pursue better and stand strong, knowing that you have what it takes and that your value is beyond rubies and gold. You are sufficient and you are enough. You got to believe that. Today, tomorrow, the day after, next year, you got to still believe that I'm valuable and that I am sufficient and that I am enough. I'm valuable, I'm sufficient, and I am enough. I'm valuable, I'm sufficient, and I am enough. You got to say that over yourself. Go get your value again. Know your value again. If you dropped it, pick it back up. Pick it back up. They take clearance prices off of clearance and add them back to the regular price all the time. You add your value back and you go get your value, but you got to know your value. Know who you are and don't settle for anything less than the best. This is Cammie C here, your impact coach, with day 25, a Merry Christmas day, with day 25 as we talk about know your value again. As I always say, make sure you do what? Touch your heart, love a life, and give somebody a smile. And at the end of the day, like you're going to choose to make an impact, I know you're going to choose your value again, and you're going to choose to make an impact again, because your value is going to make it happen. I love you, and until next time.